So recently I've noticed that a lot of people are having a couple issues with reversal trading, exactly how that works, when to get into the trade, out of the trade, how that works with 15-minute signals, 30-minute signals, all those kinds of things. So making you guys a little video on exactly how I do it. I believe this strategy is pretty much out there. Jazz Fran already made a good had a good talk on a Friday about it. It was an hour and 52-minute video. If you want to see that on the channel, I highly recommend it. But yeah, reversals. So to start with, I want to go over an idea of mindsetting really quick, just to get it out of the way. When it comes to mindset, I think that what you really need to do is to not be uncertain. Sure, when you start out at this, you're probably, even when you do stick to the system most of the time, there's the occasional trade that will be out there and against it. So I think you should remember that good risk to reward is really the key to it, as well as certainty. So, like my good old buddy Dollar Bill says, do not be uncertain. Yeah, good old Dollar Bill. Whenever you're uncertain, think of this guy and make sure that you are indeed certain. Gotta love billions, right, guys? Anywho, let's get into our trades and what we're certain of and when we're taking them and things like that. So here's the day. Can't remember. This is probably a week or two ago, and we had a pretty big move on a lot of the pairs. I'm sure there was news that kind of morning. But when you're really pressed up tight against a lot of the bands, particularly on the 1 and 4 hour, you can keep breaking them for a while, as you see, like here, where it just keeps going down and down and down. But after that, we get these signals that are very important, such as this one, this one, this one, and this one, who's hiding behind this little bubble here, but, you know, still a yellow there. Also, if you don't know, yellows generally signal that a reversal is taking place, so just remember that one. But anyway, we have our 15-minute signals. Then I feel like a lot of people have an issue of exactly what 5-minute signal gets them in the trade, when do they get out. So let me go through these ones. So let's look at the GU here. Here we are, and this is the entry I have lined up. Now, if we look at this trade, you see we have the 15-minute there, we have the 30-minute backing it, and we have our 1 hour. Now, it's generally a good idea to have a 4 hour, but it's not always necessary. I'll get to explaining why that is in a minute. But super arrows, as Kevin explained well in his video, Understanding the Arrows, super arrows generally tell you that the trade is going to go to the orange line on that chart. Now, there's some signals that can tell you when that's not exactly going to be the case, but let me go through that. So after this big move, if we look at GU here, we know we're going to go to this orange line. So we have our 15-minute confirming it, and we have our 30-minute confirming it. So what I like to do for entry, and this is also in D0's PDF on the whole thing, what I like to do is I have a 5-minute. Now, I've tried to explain this one a little bit to GG and why in BR's first video he was taking trades like this one. Because GG's often like, well, we're at the BB bands here, and we're at the BB bands here. And BR says to not take a trade at the BB bands, so why would he ever take a trade up here? Well, knowing BR, he probably would have gotten in a long time earlier or back here or something like that. But assuming he didn't, if we have this trade, this is still a good trade to the upside because really our spacing is up to here. So we have all the space up to here to take this trade because this signal is saying we're going up to here, this signal is saying we're going up to here, which is further than here. So we're going to break this line, we're going to head up to here. After we get to here, we're going to break this line and head up to here. And if this was a super arrow, then we would know that it's probably going to break this line and head up to here. Anywho, so here's our GU, and we get our entry signal. So we would probably get in, say, around here at 22-ish. We take our trade. And you'll see that immediately it does not go against us or much against us because it's pushing through. Of course, we additionally got this 15-minute signal here. new long-term signal here. But still, my point is that these signals pretty quickly take off in their direction. That's why I really like open take profit kind of trades on these. I'll show you guys the rules I have for these trades, but here's our example. So we're going on here, we're still going, and we're heading up towards that orange line. Now this is where you have your exit. So I think of exits as you either want to stay in the trade for as many pips as possible, and that's just because it's better risk and reward. And also, who doesn't want more pips? So when you're heading up close to orange lines, that's where you know it's probably going to bounce. Now it bounces like 90% of the time. So you know that, okay, we got in the trade here at 22, we're all the way up at 47, we're counting our 25 pips and whatnot. But when you get really close to this, this line, you probably want to exit a trade that you have on this pair. Now you can also wait until you have signals against you. You could, get out up here when the momentum turns on you, DX goes against you, or you can even leave some trades running like Jazzfran kind of recommends, because this signal easily could go super and go higher. Now that's kind of a matter of preference of what you like to do, but I kind of like to get out usually when we hit these orange lines. I'll show you some more examples here in a sec. There are also a lot on this specific day because, as you know, this was a big reversal move. So here's some quick rules of exactly how this process works. This is I'm calling it the Borg GG strategy, as you know, because I want to get GG a little more confidence because he wins so much of the time, and I really think he deserves a lot of success here. But anyway, this is not my strategy. It's not super original. This is just kind of a take of a very specific setup for it, because I feel like sometimes people are taking these, trades that are kind of questionable, and then they end up losing them, or they end up doubting them and getting out of winning trades. So here's my really simple setup. We have our 1 hour super arrow that hasn't touched the orange line, the 30-minute backing it, the 15-minute backing that, and then the 5-minute arrow is our entry key with our momentum. And then we exit at either the 1 hour orange load or when we get our 30-minute against you. Now you can also exit at a 15 against you. I'll show you a little more on how to do that, but let's look at our play of the day over here at GJ. So we all love GJ, clearly, especially on this day. So if we look over here, what do we have? Well, we have our, there was also some, we probably could have taken this earlier, probably even back to right about here. Yeah, anyway, so we get right in the room and we see, here's our play of the day. Now here's our 1 hour arrow, and it has not made it to this orange line. Now you can say, okay, we probably have enough pips, here, particularly it being the GJ, that it's going to make it to this orange line. This is going to be a profitable kind of trade that's worth taking. So then we look to our 30-minute and we see, okay, this is good. And we look to our 15-minute and we see this is good. But then people are like, oh, wait a second there, Borg. What about this arrow right here? This little red. Well, the thing about little reds, particularly this one, is that it's pretty much already done its job. It might have correlated with this guy or something, and it takes it back to the orange line here. It even gets to here, but then this signal is basically nothing. Now, if it was a super arrow, I might be more concerned, but basically I don't count this guy. So I count this guy as here, 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 and here we are. So this is where we would get our entry key. We would take this trade with the momentum going our direction. As you can see, this clearly works out. And we get it up to this line. Now GJ is also interesting because we get our 4 hour longer. So once you reach this kind of line, sometimes the 1 hour going to the 4 hour can be a bit tricky. But how about a couple more examples over here? Yeah. Here's another day. So this day we had a lot of big moves down on the GU and the EU and pretty much everything. There was a lot of USD kind of DX stuff happening. But after this big move, we have our 1 hours starting to appear to say, okay, let's go. And you can see, though, that they do not have 4 hours with them. This personally doesn't usually concern me because I know that the 4 hours will start to appear once we get moving, but it's something that you should really take into consideration about it. It's better to have a 4 hour, but I don't think you really always need one. Anywho, so here we are. DX is flying, by the way. That really helps with this one. And let's once again look at GU here. So we have our 15-minute, our 30-minute, and our 1 hour, and now our 5-minute all together. And this is even better because they're all basically starting out together. We don't have to have a 5 later for entry. So we take this trade, we get in it, and we're going up. And you see, even if we entered, not so well, we already end up pretty much in the positive. But one thing that happens in reversal trades and, many trades is the testing. So we've hit this line here, and what it's going to do is try to retest this line. Now, if these signals start to break down, we may be going back down to the downside. But when these arrows stick around, usually they're going to start doing what they say they're going to do. So you can see this guy retests here, BB band bends up, and we're pressing to this level. Now, if you didn't get in down here, you could attempt to get in right here. I prefer to wait for a 5-minute signal, but you could easily get back in. You could take this 5-minute signal, but we're also very close to the 30-minute. It's kind of better to have a little bit of space, but you could also take this signal. And as I said, occasionally you'll have a lot of retesting that goes on over and over again, which is why you can also then take, say, another signal later down the road. But did it go against you any of this time? No. It pushed a little against you maybe, but all of this setup is completely golden. So we stay in the trade, and up she goes. And you'll see it obviously reaches the 1 hour level. Now, at this point, this is where I say we get out, but you can also wait for a good confirmation to say to get out. A good example might be the EU coming up here. You could stay in this trade even though it's almost to the orange line, basically reaching it, until you get your 30-minute signal down here. I think of it like if something's going to bounce off an orange line, then it usually needs a signal. So I usually look to a chart that's lower for bounces. So JazzFriend says look to a chart that's higher for whether it's going to pierce a line or bounce off of it. So like let's find a good example of that one. How about our buddy UJ, who we got rid of here? When you have a little red here, if it reaches, say, this orange line right here, and this guy's still a little red, then we don't really have anything that says it's going to press through this line, versus if this guy was a super, it would more than likely go through it. Now, there are a couple small exceptions to that, but basically, that's how it works there. And if this guy presses to here, if we get a 30-minute, and sometimes a really strong 15-minute will also do this, but it's better with a 30 and a 15, then it's going to, an up signal, it would bounce off of this line and head back up. Now, if, say, this yellow disappeared, it would probably retest the level here and may go back down. But that's probably for a later video, because I can't just give you guys too much information at once. But that's basically what I wanted to talk about. This system is pretty well known by everybody. JazzFran, as I said, did an hour and 52-minute fabulous video. Well done, Jazz. It was just absolutely gorgeous. But if we look at some of these trades, they're very profitable. The entries are pretty easy to nail, like you see right here. So we know we're at the top. We're getting a little red. We're getting our 30-minute, our 15-minute. We know we're lining this up, and we're just waiting for the 5-minute for our entry key. And there it is. You take your 5-minute, and you have your entry. Now, sometimes these guys will retest you, but a majority of the time, things will go pretty much your way. Now, this is a lot better when DX is majorly on your side, because when DX is against you, you don't want to be in these kind of trades because it's more likely to bounce off levels and to be more volatile. But as soon as it hits a level, it's easily going to retest. When it's really strong, it'll go through. Other times, it'll retest back up to a higher level and then go back down. But yeah, these signals end up working out in the end. They're absolutely beautiful, and it's just a great kind of trading style. So remember to stick to these rules if you want this kind of strategy. Anywho, but yeah. In terms of stop loss, I usually use a 15 to 20. Kevin uses a 10. Some other people use different values. You want to vary it depending on the day and the volume, because sometimes, there are big days and big volumes, so kind of have to adjust that. And some days, small volumes, the like that. But I also wanted to mention a little risk management. I personally use about 0.1% to the pip. You can use more per the pip, but it's a little tricky. I would prefer to stack these kind of 0.1s because you can easily take out the trades, at least on MT4, because it's not always so easy on anyway, at least in yeah, when you're using MT4 compared to C-Trader's got some better features for taking out trades and adjusting their size when you're in them. Anyway, that's for other time as well. So yeah, so if you have a $1,000 account, it's $1 pip, and you can trade that, stack that, do it like this. And with this reversal strategy, this doesn't show up every day, but it shows up, I'd say, probably 75% of the time you'll see this kind of trade. Maybe even 80 or 90 on would be more of a liberal estimate. So anyway, with this, it keeps you inside your risk, and some trades like the UC here went something like 40, 50 pips in your direction. So the risk to reward is often 1-to-1, sometimes even better. Sometimes it can be 2-to-1, 3-to-1 if your entries are particularly great. So that's about it, guys. I plan to make some future videos, but just wanted to give this one to you. Here are a couple takeaways just at the very end of it. You guys can read that and whatever. So I recommend you work on the mindset. I recommend you try the strategy out if you haven't already seen the power of reversals, because I just think they're beautiful and they don't require some of the precision that like really tight trend trades involved. Like, to give a quick example on trend trades, if we start at the beginning here, this is a good, kind of setup to the downside on our GU pair. I know you're getting blues in this little red, but it's still a really good setup. So when you're entering these kind of trades, you often have to, as BR explains it perfectly in his videos, waiting for these kind of pullbacks and the momentum to go back with you. Jazzfran also explained this in his long-term video, the first one. It's really useful kind of stuff. But you kind of wait for these kind of moves to get back in the trade, because if you were to take, say, a 5-minute signal here, it goes like 10 pips against you before you get a chance to really enter to win the trade. Versus when you get to these reversals on the 5-minute signals, because the 5-minute signals are heading in the opposite direction, things work out pretty beautifully with it. So you can take the trade straight off the 5-minute and get a pretty solid entry. Anyway, that's about all I had to talk about today. I hope this helps. Feel free to talk to me in the room. I'm always gonna try to help out and whatnot. But yeah, Borg MT is out.